Bruce Outridge. Welcome to another edition of The Creative Connection. And today we are going to talk a little bit about video production and having a schedule. One of the areas that I find that people often, creatives often fall down on is meeting deadlines. This is a part of a scheduling that most people really struggle with. And you could have a great idea, you can even have great content, but if it doesn't get to the people that are putting it out there, it can be a real struggle. And so I'm just thought I'd offer a few tips today on how I meet a lot of my deadlines as somebody who started out as an illustrator, now a podcaster, and television show host, and owns a radio station. I am used to putting out content. In fact, that's what I do all the time. So let me offer you 3 tips on how you can improve your production schedule or create one if you don't have one already, hopefully making your content get to the people who need it most. The first part of it is batching. If you are not batching your work, and we've talked about this in prior videos, if you're not batching your work, then you are probably working too hard. You're like a hamster on a wheel. You're trying to come up with a content for today, and then you're trying to come up with new content tomorrow, instead of kind of planning out your time for a month or whatever schedule you wish, and then doing kind of all the writing on one time and all the recording on one day and all the editing on one day. And that's a way of batching your work, which is really important for most people. The second thing is to know when is the deadline you need to meet. You'd be surprised at how many people will get an assignment, and when they say, when do you need that? The person says, in the next month or so. Having a hard date, asking them, and if they don't give you a hard date, put a hard date in for yourself. When does this need to be done? And if they say, hey, we need it for the end of the month, what's better for a creative actually is to put your own production schedule. Know how long it takes you to create a piece of content. And if it takes you 2 to 3 weeks to create that piece of content, know that, so that when someone hires you, you can say, I need at least 2 to 3 weeks. If they don't give you a hard date, set one for yourself. Normally, I will ask somebody, what's a hard date? What do I need? And then they will tell me, and whatever date that is, I back that date up a week for me. So if they need it on the 30th of the month, I set my own production schedule date for the 25th. It's a great way of doing it. The third tip that most people don't do is to actually add it to your calendar. If you're not working with a production calendar to where you're scheduling your editing time or your recording time or whatever other time you may need, then you are probably not getting it done. Because if you're waiting for your mind to remember, and I can tell you as somebody who gets older, your mind may not remember, that you do not want to leave that to chance, because you will remember probably the day that it's due or when a reminder comes in, and that is the wrong time, my friends. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you add it to a calendar. Just put it in your calendar that, you know what, I'm working on this project these certain days, or I'm batch recording these days, or whatever it is, and you will find that you are starting to get some traction and starting to meet those deadlines. Put the deadline in your calendar, and then put in your production deadline, which hopefully is enough time to send it to somebody else and all of that. So that is how you should be getting yourself on a production schedule. A production schedule for anybody that is content driven is super important. And you'd be surprised, as creatives, and I'm an artist as well. So as creatives, we're often thought of that, we kind of wait for inspiration to happen, and that's when we start. And I can tell you that all of the professional content people that I've had on the show, whether it be musicians, artists, authors, are all on production schedules, especially if it's something that's a weekly assignment or a daily assignment or even a monthly assignment. You need to have that production schedule to get it done. So those are a few tips. I hope it works for you. I know it's worked for me. Thanks for watching. I'm Bruce Outridge. Talk to you again.